Welcome once again to Salim's Academy. Today we are discussing a very important topic, that is about the special scheme of assessment for class 10 and 12 in this academic year 21-22. As you all know, they have large number of changes which has come to the assessment pattern for this particular year. What are the major points being a student or being a teacher has to know about is covered in this episode, and without skipping, if you watch it, you will get a perfect idea, and at the end I'll be certainly telling you what are the points where you have to really focus in order to score the best marks for your board exams. So without delay, let us get into the video. So according to the special scheme of examinations, which is going to be conducted as 2 board exams for class 10 and 12 in the same academic year 21-22, that will be term 1 based on 50% of the syllabus and term 2 based on the remaining 50% of the syllabus. Details will be explained. The syllabus is going to be rationalized. The rationalized syllabus will be published for the students at the end of July. Internal assessment is going as usual, including practicals, projects, then ASL and all other things. The main point number 2, the curriculum transaction. This has to be carefully listened by teachers than students because it is pertaining to you. Number 1, under that, online class will continue till the government gives permission for the schools to take in-person classes. Number 2, internal assessment bifurcation for term 1 and term 2 will be same, and it comprises 3 periodic test marks, students enrichment, portfolio in the form of notebook, practicals, projects, ASL, etc. And students, you have to keep in mind that internal assessment is giving a very big percentage of mark for your final computation. So do not take it lightly. Provide all the materials required by the teacher during internal assessments. Number 3 under that is all the evidences for the internal assessment from the students has to be procured by the teacher and kept in digital format, which has to be submitted to CBSE when and where it is being asked for. Let us go for the number 4. Mark has to be uploaded in CBSE's IT platform. And number 5, CBSE will provide internal assessment guidelines to the teachers, sample assessment methods, question banks, and even teachers training, etc. pertaining to internal assessment. So that's all the second major part, that's a curriculum transaction. Let us go for the third and fourth part, that is term 1 and term 2. How the exams are going to be conducted and what is the method of assessment. Let us get into the depth and understand by a comparison. Here comes term 1. Term 1 ends with the November-December 2021 exams. So at the end of the year, November-December, in between a period of 4 to 8 weeks, CBSE will be conducting exams throughout the countries wherever schools are available, and the question paper is provided by the board itself. So it is overall like a board exam, and that is the end of term 1. The question paper comprises only MCQ. Note the point, guys. For the first semester exams, you don't have to study any kind of descriptive or explanatory or diagram drawing kind of questions. Only MCQ, and not the point. There are 3 major types of MCQs at this particular juncture to understand. Number 1, general MCQ questions. As you know the question, and ABCD 4 choices. Number 2, case-based question. A paragraph, a case is given, and learning the paragraph, understanding the paragraph, using your knowledge about the syllabus, you will be answering certain questions where the questions are given as ABCD MCQ, and you have to choose the right option from there. And the third one is assertion reasoning type of questions, and in that also the answer has to be chosen from A, B, C, D, all the 4 options given below. So that's the third point that we have to know about, is about the duration of the exam, and that is just 1.5 hours, around 90 minutes. And the syllabus covered is going to be 50. Not the point. This is after curtailing and removing the unwanted topics or removing the unimportant topics, or after rationalization of the syllabus, which has to come in July end. And then fifth point, external observer will come to your school. If you are writing this exam at your school, if pandemic is not troubling you and you're writing the exam in this school, then an external observer or a superintendent from other school will come and they will conduct the exam, and it will be in your own school, but the question paper will be sent by the board to the schools. Let us see how is the answer sheet. Answer sheet is going to be an OMR sheet. As you all know, optical mark reader, in which you have to just, shade the bubbles. Answer A, B, C, D, you have to choose and shade the bubbles accordingly. And the OMR answer sheet will be scanned and uploaded on the same day to the website by your school, or they have the right to, correct the sheet, understand or calculate compute the total marks this child scored and upload, but uploading has to be done on the same day. And seventh point, it has, the term 1 mark scored has to contribute to the final overall. As per today's calculation, as per today's notification given by them, the term 1's theory mark and term 2 theory mark have got equal weightage except in certain circumstances. Now let's go for term 2. Under term 2, the term 2 is completing in March-April exam 2022. That is a year-end exam, which is normally called as the board exam. But remember, this is also board's own exam. Now, the question paper is not like term 1, not completely MCQ. It is diversified with the various kinds of questions, including case-based questions, situation-based questions, which has to be studied thoroughly by you guys, open-ended questions like short, long answer type questions. So in this particular exam, you have to learn the syllabus and you have to approach the exam exactly like the previous board exam and other exams you wrote till today. Let us go for the duration. Unlike the previous exam, term 1, the duration is going to be 2 hours, and then the syllabus will be the remaining 50%. The exams are not written in your school for sure. You will be taken to board's exam centers and under the normal supervision of the external examiners. And then normal answer sheet, as usual, board answer sheets will be provided to students, and this also contribute to the final overall marks. Exactly 50-50 of the marks of term 1 and term 2 will be taken into account. Now, something is in the red colored box here which has to be carefully noted. What is it? If COVID-19 situation is uncontrolled and students are unable to go to school and write the exam, the term 2 exam will be just like 1.5 hours exam, that is like term 1. MCQ paper same like term 1, which has to be attended by the student from his home solely by using his own computer or the available devices. But then there are so many points to take into account, and that is the major point number 5 in CBSE's notification. So let us go for the point number 5. So the last and final point is about the exams as per different situations, and let us go into that in details. And remember, this is the place where each and every student give much importance and plan his studies so that he achieves the best possible marks in the board exam at the end. So here we go, guys. There are 4 situations being told in that particular circular. Situation number 1, if in-person classes and exams are normal and conducted, means COVID is completely over and everyone is allowed to go to school. You can write the exams and there you can attend the daily classes if things are going as normal, like normal schooling every year. So we will have term 1 at your school, as I told, term 1 exams at your own school and term 2 board decided centers, and theory mark weightage will be equal for both the terms. That means term 1's mark and term 2's mark weightage, if this mark is given 50% weightage, the other one is 50% weightage, equal weightage will be given for both the terms. Now let us go for the second hypothetical situation. If November-December exams you couldn't write in the school because of the pandemic, in trouble, and you wrote it at the rate home, and the March-April exams you wrote at the centers decided by board. Means, I repeat, this you couldn't write and you wrote it while sitting at home, and this exams you could write in 2022 in the board's centers. In that case, what happens, term 1 MCQ will be online or offline, like whatever you plan you wrote from your home. And the most important point comes here, guys. The weightage for term 1 to the overall total reduced. Remember, underline the point, if you are writing the exams at home and however marks you get there, whatever best performance you do there, the weightage for your exam or the mark for the total final mark will be reduced. Term 1 will not be getting much weightage. That is a very important thing. That means if you are writing the exam at home, however you score, your aim should be the second exam to score maximum. That is the March-April exam, because the weightage is going to be very less. Let us go for the third hypothetical situation. What is that? If November-December exams at the school, you could write it at school because there was COVID was, not troubling you. You could go school and write the exam there. And March-April, you couldn't go because the situation went very bad and you have to, or you were supposed to write it at the home. If that is a condition, for example, first term you wrote at school, second term you are writing at home, you couldn't go to the board centers and write. In that case, term 2 will be taken as an MCQ online offline exam. Look, before we told term 2 is for 2 hours, and that too with various kinds of questions, patterns of questions, short answer, long answer, everything. But if it is at home, no. At home you will be never getting any kind of explanatory question paper. That also will be changed into an MCQ paper which will be taken online or offline, and your result will be based on term 1 performance plus internal. Why? Term 1 performance plus internal. Term 2 also will be taken into account, but its weightage is highly reduced. Look at this point. This is where you have to be very careful. Term 2 weightage reduce and term 1 weightage increase. Previously I told 50-50 weightage. If term 2 exam you are writing at home, your term 2 this weightage, suppose this is term 1, term 2 weightage will be less and term 1 will be increased. That means your maximum mark will be taken from term 1 and a very small percentage of mark is being calculated from term 2. So how much ever you write the exam perfectly or perform well in it, but as a term 2 mark has less weightage, it's going to affect your final marks and the calculations. So guys, if you are writing an exam at home, it is not going to give much weightage. If you are writing an exam at school, it will get maximum weightage. Now there is one more hypothetical situation. What is that? If both term 1 and term 2 are written at home, COVID is not leaving us, and both the exams you couldn't go to school, you were asked to sit and write the exams at home as per what CBSE's norms and regulations, question paper from CBSE only, and you wrote at home. Then how the results are going to be? Carefully listen. Results based on the internal mark which your teachers give. I underline that point. You all have the habit of taking internal in a very easy and simple way. No, give much importance and score for that, because that mark plus theory term 1 and term 2 total of the theory marks, and then CBSE will allow moderation. At the end, one more point is told. What is that? CBSE will allow moderation to increase the validity and reliability of the results. After entering this term 1, term 2 and internal marks, most of the time teachers will catch you through internal marks that you scored. So make it perfect. And then CBSE will allow moderation to improve the validity and reliability of the results by using certain statistical tools. So guys, what is the conclusion? You cannot take any exam lightly here. Whatever exam you write, whether it is a periodic assessment, because that contributes to the internal, whether it is a project given by teacher, because it contributes to the internal, whether it is a practical exam or any other, ASL for English, whatever it is, as it is contributing to the internal, which is a fixed asset, you can sit at home and simply participate there. Secondly, term 1 exam and term 2 exam, take both the exams seriously and sincerely, because unlike previous years, just studying all the topics at the end of the year and suddenly scoring a very good mark at the year-end exam and just telling, yes, I passed out with flying colors, is not going to work right now. This is like some years before there was a pattern called continuous and comprehensive evaluation. So in which term 1, term 2, all are added together for making the final marks. So the same CCE pattern has been rebuilt. So guys, I repeat, focus on your studies, write the exams well and score wonderful marks in your board. So guys, let me conclude by saying the famous quote, knowledge is power. So achieve it and catch hold of the power. That's all for today. Thank you. So if you have not subscribed, subscribe the channel, like and share. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.